Got my water.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 30, Flirty, and Not Thriving. My name is Vanessa Rayne, and this is my lovely co host, Miss Ashley
Miss
Hoffman.
Ashley. Hello, hello.
So, we may be starting this episode like upbeat. However, uh,
It might end in tears.
it's very likely going to end in tears because we
Mm-hmm.
are talking about a very sad subject. Liam Payne. If you don't know, Liam Payne is one of the five members of One Direction. If you don't know who One Direction is, where the fuck have you been living? Under a
Uh,
fucking rock?
are you under
Because
Patrick
they've been
Starr's
around
rock?
for a very, very long time. They started out on X Factor because they are from the UK
Mm-hmm.
and started out on X Factor as single, auditions, and then they were put into a boy group by Simon Cowell.
And Nicole
Um,
Schmizeringer.
Scherzinger,
Yep, I can't say
Nicole
her last name.
Scherzinger,
Sorry,
Scherzinger.
Nicole. Sorry. Didn't need to. And
But
I have to
heavy
throw that
trigger
in.
warning on this episode. If death, substance abuse, schmooshide, any of that triggers you, not the episode for you. So, big ass trigger warning. We are discussing everything, and obviously, Liam Payne
Mm-hmm.
recently died just how many days ago? Was it Wednesday?
Last
Last Wednesday. It's
Wednesday,
almost been a week.
almost.
So, October 16th,
Yep, it's been
Liam
5 days.
sadly passed away in Argentina, and he fell from a third story balcony. And yeah, so
Yeah.
trigger warning for this shit. So, Liam Payne, I 1000% did not think this was going to affect me. And I was just like, oh, that's sad. And I was like, hee. Like the day that I found
Mm-hmm.
out I was drinking, and I thought it would be funny to pull out some of my like 1D dolls and obviously his. And I was just putting up
Yeah.
a little shrine. I'm thinking, ha ha. But like, oh, it is super sad. Like, especially under the circumstances, knowing his background, I may have been like a
Mm-hmm.
really old 1D fan. I've loved the boys since like X Factor. I thought they were so fucking cute.
Oh yeah,
Just
I didn't
adorable.
at first I was hesitant because I was like, "Oh, it's just gonna be, Justin Bieber all over again, but with 5 members." But as their singles started coming out, like, they massively grew on me. And, like, I was a hidden fan because I didn't wanna admit how much I actually loved them. Because like, when they came
Yeah,
out when they came out, we were 20. We
that's
had
exactly it. We were older like
we
fans.
were older fans. They are
We like
the
there's a lot of like 12-year-olds and 9-year-olds that
Yeah.
like literally grew up with them, but we were actually adults when
We
they came out. And I mean, some of them were as well. They were like older teens. Might have been like
Yeah.
19 when, they first started coming around, but we were older
Yeah.
teens, early adults when they
So,
started. So,
the oldest is Louis,
and he was
and
19 at the time, right? 19, no,
he
he's
was
20.
he was 18. He was
Oh,
18
was he? I thought he was 19.
when he
But
auditioned, and he was born in '91, so he's only 1 year younger than us.
oh,
1 year.
dang.
The rest of them are 3 years younger than us. They were born in '93, with the exception of Harry, who was '94. So, like, they're our age, so yeah, like, it wasn't.
They're in their 30s. Man, that is so
Yeah!
weird. I just came to that
Ah!
realization.
Right? Like,
Oh,
Liam
that is so weird because I'm still thinking they're like babies.
right, because 'cause they're still our boys, like, they were
Yeah, they're
we
still boys to
yeah,
a lot of them.
we saw them grow up at such a young age, and with Liam, he was only 31, he just had his
Yeah,
31st birthday 2 months ago,
that is true.
and it's like, I know
Speaking of
where
like turning just birthdays in general, do you know that him
yeah.
and Michael Jackson share a birthday?
Yes! Oh my god, I saw that, and I'm like, "Fuck."
Eerie as shit, and especially like all
Right.
of the conspiracy theories. So like naturally with anything and anyone dying, anyone in the spotlight, I should say, there are going to be
Mhm.
conspiracy theories as to how, when, what, all of that shit. Um, but now with all of the P Diddy things, and I'm
Oh,
just gonna say one of my most favorite conspiracy theories of all
is
time
the
at
P.
this
Diddy
moment,
conspiracy.
not just P Diddy, Beyonce.
Beyonce! He didn't fake Beyonce!
it was like coming out like maybe Beyonce thought that
It was
because
Harry.
Harry beat her at one of an award
The
where it was like
Grammys.
embarrassing for her
Yeah.
to like be standing up thinking she's gonna win it and Harry wins it and then maybe she killed off Liam thinking it was Harry. It's so funny.
It's
It is
so
one of my
funny.
favorite things at this
Or,
moment.
like, I saw something that was like, that was her way of preventing a 1D reunion because they would beat her at all the Grammys moving forward.
It is literally one of my
Oh my
favorite
god.
conspiracy theories of all time. And now they're saying like that because he does have connections to P. Diddy
Mhm.
and he's been recently on like a talk show. Was it no, it wasn't Graham Norton. It was one of those UK ones, but
I think
um
it
was
was
it Graham
Graham.
Norton? It looks
It
in
was
my head
Graham.
it's like it's Graham's background, but I didn't think it was oh,
Yeah,
maybe I'm just thinking of one of the other guests that were there, but I can't remember what his name was.
probably.
Anyways,
But it
he's
was Graham,
talking
and
about
he
P. Diddy.
name dropped
Whoa! And
Diddy,
he had
Beyonce, Jay-Z.
yeah.
He named them all, and they're like, "Okay, that's enough.
Yeah,
That's
so, like,
enough
obviously
slices."
yeah. Right? But, like, yeah, now they're saying, like, there was someone in the room, like, P. Diddy obviously sent the 2 mystery women. Okay, so,
Yeah.
um, the day of his passing, he was seen acting erratic in the hotel lobby. Just
Yep.
giving a bit of backstory for those that don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't know about this death. It's fucking major.
It's
But
everywhere.
so in Buenos Aires, Argentina, he was at the Casa Sor Palermo Hotel. I think that's what it is.
Yes, yes.
Um, So he was seen acting erratic. He was laying out in the hall, like in the lobby on
Mhm.
his laptop.
He smashed his laptop, he
He
ended up
smashed
smashing the
it. He
TV.
passed out. They brought him up to his hotel room. And then just moments later, he fell from the balcony.
Mhm. Which
Um,
I did see something today, which, it kinda makes sense, but not really, and but it 'cause nobody knows, like, was he on the balcony? Was he in his room and then moved to the balcony? No one knows,
like
but
no one knows the
the
chain of
steps to
events
that.
that happened in order to get him there because to
Right.
our knowledge, he was alone.
Yep. But someone said that they believe that he was outside maybe getting some air just to cool down, and he was leaning on the railing, and that's when he started to convulse from the substances in his body, and he blacked out, and that's when he fell, which that would make my heart feel a little bit better knowing, I mean, it was an accident regardless. I don't, what could it have been suicide? Possibly. I don't think
Okay.
so though.
So the reason why they're thinking like suicide is
Mhm.
because of
His mental
his
health.
previous like substance abuse issues, his complete mental health,
Mhm.
just the behaviors leading up to his death, um, like just even the videos that he has put out. They're thinking maybe he had a psychotic break. He was left alone. He was previously there with his girlfriend, Kate
Mhm.
Cassidy, which it also irritates me. And a lot of these TikToks, they just call her Cassidy. I don't think
Yeah.
they actually know her name is Kate.
No, they don't. I don't,
They really
I mean,
don't. And they're just because her
granted,
name is
I
Kate
had,
Cassidy, because like they'll say Liam and Liam Payne, but they'll say just Cassidy.
yeah, I
It
didn't know
drives
who
me
she
nuts.
was
No, me
until
either. I
this
still don't know if
happened.
she's, like, supposed to be relevant or something, but, like, I thought she was
Apparently,
just, like, a pretty girl on the internet.
right, apparently
That's
she's a TikTok influencer,
yeah. So, just a pretty
and
girl on the internet, no,
that's it.
like, not an artist in any way. That's
No.
yeah, that's basically what I thought. Um,
And she has huge tits. I'm sorry.
okay, we're gonna talk about these tits right now.
They're you know they're fake. You know
Oh,
they're
no, they're
fake.
absolutely fake, but she doesn't have nice looking tits. It's like it
No!
sags down here and then it's like boxy. They're just weird. Like when she
B
wears certain clothes, they're not like perky and lifted. They're kind
it
of
doesn't
saggy
fit
and
her
weirdly.
body type.
Yeah, I don't like her.
I
I'm
think
not against plastic surgery,
no, no, no,
but
no.
that is some bad plastic surgery.
Yeah, I think
And I'm
she
against
might have
bad plastic surgery.
I think she might have been flat chested
Yeah, she might
and
just be she's naturally skinny regardless. She just might
yes.
not have enough skin on her body to match
Yeah,
the size of implant that she
it
was
was too
wanting.
big. Too
It's too
big.
much and it's looking weird on her body because I don't like the way her boobs look in any of the outfits that she wears.
No,
And
they
I've
just
noticed a lot and I'm like, and I'll hyper focus. That's the only thing I see now. And I'm just like,
yes!
I don't like your boobs. I don't
I
like your
don't
boobs.
in the ones in the videos of her and Liam, I focus solely on Liam just because
Oh, I'm
I
still seeing boobs.
I do well, either that or you just see tits, and it's just
Yeah.
like, "Girl, oh my god," like, obviously, they're probably fun to play with and,
You know,
whatever.
like tits are tits, but like
Yeah.
aesthetically pleasing, they are not.
No.
Um, Also, okay, we're gonna go back to the Liam shit now. That was
Yeah.
just our tit talk.
Yeah, we had a
Welcome to Tit
sidetrack.
Talk.
Tit talk. Tit talk with V and A.
Dear Lord. All right. So Liam, he was
Uh-huh.
also seen talking to fans. And if I don't know if you've noticed or like really looked at his like eyes. Obviously, like just looking at the videos, like in the
Yeah.
obviously in the same outfit, same night where he's talking to fans,
Mhm.
you, he looks dead. Like in the eyes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
does not look okay. You can tell by the look on his
He
face that
was
he is faking it. That
yeah.
he was so fucked up.
He was
You
pushing
could tell.
through because he never wanted to disappoint anyone. He even if he was in the most miserable state and a fan wanted a picture, he would do it out of obligation or whatever, but that was his thing. He never wanted to be a disappointment.
Well, yeah. And
Yeah.
so, okay, so just seeing that, knowing that he didn't want to disappoint,
Mhm.
um, I want to talk about that because I think that was the biggest reason why he had mental health problems.
Yeah.
Because for one, okay, going back, so he was part of one of the biggest boy bands in the world.
Yeah.
Um, and that from a very young age, he was 14 when he auditioned for um X Factor, and when he then meeting his
His
now
baby
baby
mama,
mama, Cheryl Cole.
which
Uh,
I have a side note to that.
okay.
I saw an interview of the boys that they did, and the interviewer was asking them if you could marry any celebrity in the world, who would it be? And they go through and Louis said Harry, um, Zayn said Carly Rae Jepsen, which later on it's funny that Louis made a joke that Niall was dating Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh yeah, that was funny because he just really liked to make
He just to
rumors.
yeah, just to screw with him. Um, Liam, I can't remember who Liam said, but Niall said Cheryl Cole. I was just like, "Oh my
Nice.
god, the foreshadowing." And, like, there's always been speculation that Liam and Niall had, like, disagreements towards each other, and it was like, maybe this had to do with it because
Oh,
Liam got
yeah,
his
I didn't
girl.
know that.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Um,
Liam stole his
so
girl.
that yeah, that's not surprising though. That's not
No.
surprising.
So I just had to
So
throw that little tidbit in there.
for that's hilarious though. So yes, the X Factor where he met, things just happen for him. He's part of something massive. He's got a
Mhm,
massive fan base. And then they all started splitting off to do their own solo thing.
mhm.
And this is where I want to talk his music because in my opinion, I see did Louis even really do anything? Or does
Yes,
he just
okay.
do soccer slash
So
football?
he did the soccer and the football,
Yeah.
and he was dating his long-term girlfriend, I can't think of her name, up until last year they have split, and he is newly single. There's still hope for me.
See, he's my least favorite.
Louis and Liam were my favorite, and I mean, Louis was more of my favorite and still is. He's adorable, and, but
I think he's
anyways,
funny, the
he
yeah.
he has come out with 5 albums since they split, with the recent one a recent one just came out a couple months ago.
That's hilarious. I haven't heard one thing from Louis.
I didn't
Okay,
either until I went looking, and, like, his stuff is good.
okay. So that's hilarious. I thought maybe he just didn't do music, but no, I'm just not hearing it because clearly I don't know.
He's
To be
just
fair though, I don't really like any of them on their own.
yeah,
Um, I was always a Nile fan, but I'm still not even a fan of like majority of. I think there's maybe one, maybe two songs of Nile's that I really like.
mhm.
Um, but the only one that really sticks out for me, and it was the other day, I really didn't know much of else that Liam put out besides Strip That Down. Um, and I
Yeah,
hate that song because, in my opinion, he is still clinging on to One Direction with, even in
mhm.
that song, I used to be in 1D,
One
now
deep
I'm out
now that
free.
I'm free.
And even at that, the night of the hotel, like
Mhm.
when he passed away, and he's seen going down to the hotel lobby multiple times, and he's been heard like um people will be around not even paying attention to him. He'd be like, yes, I'm Liam, like just to himself,
Mhm.
like he wants to be out and noticed and recognized for
Yeah.
being Liam Payne. And I kind of think that's an example of a sad man.
Mhm.
If you
'Cause
are purposely wanting to be seen just to, you know, that means you have nothing else going for you. But in my opinion,
mhm.
I think his solo career was a bit of a fail, and that
He didn't get
he probably felt like he, because wasn't as successful
yeah.
as Niall or Harry
Mhm.
with his solo career, that really took a toll on him, and that is why the behaviors like hanging out in hotel lobbies just to get recognized
Yeah.
came about, because 90% of celebrities don't want to be fucking seen. They want to
No.
be up in their hotel room, like, yes, they will like say hi like upon exiting or entering or exiting the building, but they won't go hang out in the lobby and just lay around on couches on their laptops.
Right.
That's really weird behavior to me. So I really do think that that took a toll on his mental health, that where it
Mhm.
wasn't as successful. Like, I wouldn't say failing, because obviously people do really enjoy Liam on his own. I am just not one of those people. He was not
Right.
one of my favorites, but I still don't really like any of Harry's songs either, and he's like the most popular.
Yeah, 'cause I was
But I
saying out
wasn't
of the
also a fan of Harry either.
no, I wasn't either. He was just he came off as cocky toward like, to
Yeah.
me, and he just looks like he constantly smells. I'm sorry.
Okay. But yeah, that
Um,
I think he just got really into his head and started drinking a lot more, but also okay, so with his music, it came up on a TikTok and it was like top 11 songs or something like that, his top hits.
I
I
only
never even
heard
stripped that down. I didn't hear anything else.
I
I've
knew
never
3
heard
of
of
them.
their.
I knew 3 of them. I knew "Strip That Down" because,
Yeah,
like, that was his push back into the music industry because it was 3 years after they split?
probably. It was quite a
Yeah.
few years, yeah.
Um, I knew the song, with Rita Ora,
I did
because
not.
it was featured on, one of the 50 Shades movies.
I heard about that after, but I
Yeah.
still never.
I've seen them. 'em, I've read the books,
Oh yeah, me
I'm a
too.
smut whore. You know, it's that's how I knew it, and then I knew the Christmas song that he did with Dixie D'Amelio, because that was
Gross. I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah, her and her
That's
team paid
that's how
him
you know he's not doing well, when he
yeah,
goes to a TikToker.
and it wasn't even him. Her team paid so much money to launch her career that they paid so many celebrities to get featured. I don't think he did that for his
She's
own free
also
will.
not good.
No, 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 not at
I
all.
don't like the D'Amelios. I'm not a fan of them at all. That's that's really weird.
Yeah. And
So
it's like how
but okay,
I was gonna say, like, how I look at their careers, Harry has the most successful career
yeah,
solo-wise. Then I would say Zayn and then Niall.
interesting.
But they're, like, pretty much tied because Zayn
I
had
I would say he probably would have been second if he didn't step away.
yeah, well,
I
he had
think Niall's got the number 2 spot right now
the only
at this
reason
moment.
well, at this moment, back
Yeah, at
when
this
he
moment, I would say Niall's got the number 2, but
yes.
when Zayn did have his solo career before he did step away for his own mental health,
Yeah.
um,
He did, the one song
he
with
was in number
Taylor
2.
Swift.
Yep.
Yeah, like, he,
He was
like
very good.
yes. And then I would say Liam and Louis, are tied
Mhm.
in, like, last place because, like I said, like, I didn't know Louis I thought he just went did his sports thing, like you
Me
said.
too.
Um, and I didn't realize, like, he continued to make music, and it's not bad. I actually ordered one of his CDs.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, like, it's in retrospect, yes, Liam, he only had 1 album and I think 2 EPs?
Maybe. And he was just releasing something, wasn't he? Or he just
Yeah,
released?
he released, Teardrops, which is such a beautiful song, and I think that's why Sony didn't want to continue with him because he was more of the ballad singer,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was the way he wanted to go. Because if you listen to Teardrops, it is very similar to the ballads, that 1D did. So I think he wanted, the emo stripped down music, and that's not what they wanted. They wanted upbeat pop, dance, and that's just not him.
What was I that the one that was on TikTok? I don't think that one was released. That one wasn't Teardrops, was it?
No.
That one. Whatever the
Um,
fuck that one was. I'm trying to actually go through our messages to find it.
because I know
Um
there was a 1D song that
I just
it was
don't
a
know what this is called.
demo that now
Yeah.
they're talking about having it released because it was one of the last 1D songs that was recorded before they split, and it never made it onto any album.
Oh, interesting. But this, as soon as I fucking find it, I know I said this would be because I'm not a fan of his music, of
Right.
Liam's music on his own, but there is this demo, and I
Mhm.
was like, that would have been the hit because it was just so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Um,
Hold on.
oh, I found it.
Oh, did you?
What You've Done.
Yes, that one has not been
Nothing less
released.
hard than it used to be. Still a little uncertain with everything. Where it's supposed to be. Just trying to find out what it's supposed to mean. Okay, we won't get too much into it, but that it is just such a beautiful song. I'm like, that I can get behind.
Yeah.
Um, because it's showing him. I don't think that he is quite up. I don't think he really wanted to do or what he needed to do was the upbeat that even story of my life.
Yeah. Well, although it's funny because I was going back in the, discography and stuff and finding his writing credits, Story of My Life, Night Changes, and History, he was the main songwriter on.
Oh, interesting.
And
See,
and
I
that's where
like
I
Story of
s
My Life, but I don't like the
yeah.
other 2.
And that's where I say, like, he was more of the ballad writer because all of their hit ballads, he was the main songwriter on. And that was even his audition, he did a Michael Bublé song, like,
Yeah,
so that should have been indication right
that's his
there.
style, yeah.
That's
And
his
I think that's why I
style.
don't like a lot of what he puts out because it's not him. That is where I see
Right.
him, and
It's what
that would be the hit.
Yeah, and that's what the label wanted him to do because, "Oh, we need radio play and we need this," and it's like, why does everything on the radio have to be
And that's
upbeat
because
and
Harry's
dancey?
really good at the poppy, upbeat shit,
Yeah,
and he's doing extremely well, so they were just trying to make another Harry even though he was under the impression that the band was being built around Liam, you know?
right, and that was, like, and the reason or I earlier I said Nicole is for those who don't know when and the footage is out there now. And like Nicole said, I'm surprised Simon didn't burn it because Simon still to this day says he created One Direction, which he had his inputs, but when you look at the footage, it was Nicole. And she put Niall and then Harry
Yep,
and then Louis and then um it was Liam and then Zayn was the final one,
yes,
and Liam and Zayn were picked by Simon because, like, they
yes.
had a row of, like, 5 other guys, and when they put Liam up there, Simon made a comment, he's like, "Yes, he is the leader, he has very much confidence," and I think that's why he says he created the band around Liam. He created it knowing he was going to be a leader, he was gonna steer them in a good direction, but not necessarily be the front man of the band. That unfortunately was not unfortunately, but that was Harry and Zayn pretty much, really.
I wouldn't even say Zayn, I would say it's been Harry.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
it all depended on the song, really, because
yeah, that's very true.
they all got their solo moments, and I think that's why, like, I
Even though it
always
was a bitch for fricking Niall to get a solo, they really
I
did not like Niall.
no, and he's so talented,
He's
and
so cute. He
even
was
with
my favorite. I have a T-shirt, like a massive T-shirt with a big old
yeah.
picture of Niall on it that my sister made me.
Louis was always my favorite because he was the underdog, like, he got very little solo time. Like, even
Yeah, I
in
would say him and Niall were
yeah, even in
were
Story
pretty
of My
tied.
Life, he has, like, a little line, and his voice is so cute in it. It's so adorable, and
I'm pretty good at recognizing, like, all
who is
like, the
who?
boys except for, like, Louis because I gotta say I don't really know what he sounds like because I don't really hear him too much.
Oh my god, I'm gonna find the little snippet from Story of My Life because I have a live video that I saved. It is
Okay,
so
so I
beautiful.
wanna just I okay, do it. Play the song because 'cause I'm gonna talk about story of my life,
Okay.
and my
I'm
hot
going
take.
I'm going to that specific part. Maybe. I'm just gonna keep fast forwarding it. There we go. Okay, here comes Louis in a minute. This is Liam. That's Louis.
So I can see why he never got much time. I'm not a fan of Louis. Not a fan
Yeah.
of Louis. Okay, but I do wanna talk about that song because it has been all fucking over the place
Just
with
because of Liam's one line. Um
every yeah, so the story of my life, it's a cute ass song, not gonna lie.
mhm.
But the when it says, "And I'll be gone, gone tonight," you know? Okay, but what I
I know where you're going with this.
what is the wait, hang on, where's the actual part? Because
The
it makes
ground beneath
me
me is
you know,
open wide.
the ground beneath my feet is
It is
open
open
wide.
wide.
Okay, that bitch took that too literally. The
Fuck!
ground beneath his feet was indeed not
Open
open
wide.
wide. I can't get over that because every time I hear that, that's all I can think.
Yeah.
Because he says, written on his stone. What the fuck part is that?
It's in the beginning.
Yep.
She told me in the morning she don't feel
Feel
the
the
same
same
about
about
a
us in her
Saturday
in her
night.
bones.
It seems to me that when I
When I
die,
These
die,
words
these
will be
words will
written
be
on my
written
stone.
on my stone. Yes, and I'll be gone,
I'm
gone
gone
tonight. Yep,
tonight. Yeah,
the
a
ground beneath my feet is open wide.
and it makes me think, like, what is gonna actually be written on his stone, like, I swear to God,
Absolutely.
if his parents put that on his stone, I'm gonna fucking die. Not really, no,
That
no.
no. But
Ugh,
okay, so in just like thinking of like foreshadowing, there were a lot of the songs where it even talks about like the lonely hotel rooms, and that's because his father had said like,
that will
you
be
know,
your
you'll never be lonely
downfall,
or that yeah, and that absolutely, and it 1000% was. So
and he
I'm
even
okay, so
talks
I'm a
about
big
yeah.
speculator. I'm
Mhm,
a huge speculator. Um I and this, until you know the facts come out. That's the thing
right,
because I feel like a lot of us because we're just trying to make sense of all of this because this was so unexpected. He was 31 years
31.
old, and you know even looking at sadly his death photos,
Mhm.
the photos of the body, both of us have unfortunately seen them, and
Do not go looking for them.
do not go looking for it, please do not. Let's I even like have regrets of even myself of seeing that because it is not something that you should see. But just a little bit about it. He did have something, a bag or something around
It
his
was
body. It was
a
around his neck. Yeah.
Gucci laptop bag,
Um.
and his hat was next to it.
Okay. And so a couple days. I guess let's go back even further than a couple days ago. His ex fiance
Mhm,
Maya. What the fuck is her last name? Anyways, just Maya.
mhm.
I don't care. I don't know who
She's
this
not
girl is.
she's not relevant. Well,
She's
she's
not
relevant, but
actually
she's not.
she's in a way, so she has recently come out with a lot of allegations against him about just being an awful
Mhm,
fucking human, using his fans to or manipulating his fans to get nude photos from and of all ages. And he was like, my fans won't say anything, yada yada. He just apparently talks a lot of shit about the other bandmates, which I can also see because
mhm.
he is quite jealous.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
anyone can see that he is quite jealous of their success. And seeing as only Louis is the only one left following him
Mhm,
on Instagram and things like that. Uh, you could tell that there were obviously some tension between the boys, and it's my opinion jealousy. Um,
oh, absolutely.
and so just knowing that she had even a few days before his passing, I think it was about a week actually, that she had sent a cease and desist because also within those allegations is that even though they had split about 2 years ago, he's still constantly contacting her, her friends, her family,
Mhm,
making she's constantly blocking him, making new phone numbers, making new iCloud accounts, just anything to harass her, stalk her, you know, um, just not okay behavior, obviously mentally ill shit. She sent a cease and
mhm,
desist to stop the communications of her, her friends, and her family, and then all of a sudden, 2 days before his passing, his girlfriend Kate Cassidy had left Argentina,
mhm,
and even she did obviously post a video saying like, "Get ready with me to head back to Florida." She said she was just tired of being in Argentina, that they had been there
mhm.
for a couple weeks, and it was just time for her to go back home. And so that essentially left him alone. I
Alone.
again am a huge speculator. I want to know what really caused her to go back without him.
And I've
And also,
seen
it's come out recently that his visa
yes,
was held. He wasn't able to leave, but that's still
that's
why would you
so
not wait for yours? essentially your spouse
Right.
to fly with you, especially knowing he has mental health issues, knowing that he hates being alone. If we,
Yeah.
his fans, know he hates being alone in hotel rooms because of all the
You as a
trauma he endured through One
girlfriend should know.
Direction and Simon Cowell, you should know not to fucking leave him. Unless there
Mhm.
is a major issue where you just need to get away from him, she should have stayed. And
Oh,
I'm not
absolutely.
blaming her whatsoever because this
No,
is
no.
something that she likely, and even as a fan, just thinking like,
Mhm.
if only you could go back in time, like how could you like how could
How
anyone
could you
have
have
helped him?
changed it? Yeah.
And so, and also within those speculations and like WhatsApp chats being released from the staff at the hotel that he was staying
Mhm.
at, knowing that some of the staff had given him what the police in Argentina believe is a drug called crystal, not to be really confused with crystal meth, although I am not 100% certain, that can
Mhm.
cause hallucinations and cause people to be like really highs and lows, can cause aggression. Like
Mhm.
there's just knowing that I don't think, and especially if the hallucination is that bad, I don't think anyone could have actually helped him. I think that there still would have been issues. He still would have been aggressive. Like, what if he just ended up killing someone? Like there's a
Right.
reason why things happened the way they did. Do I think that the hotel should have just left him and not stayed with him, especially when he's already been seen,
Mhm.
convulsing, and he should not have been left alone. How he got to the balcony though, because in his hotel room there have been photos released of like a smashed television, random drug packets everywhere. Like you could tell
Yeah.
there's like burnt tinfoil, white powder,
Mhm.
um, a substance of sorts. So like you could tell that he was on drugs, that he clearly had alcohol in his system, and he was found. There was a whiskey bottle. Um, with him. So my newest speculation, there was a whiskey
Mhm.
bottle found near his body. I didn't see a whiskey bottle
I didn't
in the
either.
photos,
I
but
all that I saw was his hat, his bag, which that speculated that, like, he was ready to leave. He wanted to go home.
do you want to know what I think now?
What?
Because they were thinking maybe he just like fucking jumped, right? At the very
Right.
beginning, they were like, he jumped, he committed
Yeah,
suicide.
that was
But
the
with
biggest
the
speculation.
autopsy, there were no defensive wounds. And like,
No.
if you're going to fall, and especially being aware, you're going to put your hands out to stop it. You're going to try to protect yourself in
Mhm.
some way. Your hands would have gotten smashed. What I think happened was he was back on from the balcony and just like
Yeah.
took a sip of that, and he might have blacked out at that moment and fell
Mhm.
over. And that's why he had his bag on. There was a whiskey bottle, a full whiskey bottle, like with around him. I
Mhm.
legitimately think that that was his last sip. Like he just put it right back. When one
Mhm.
does when they're holding the bottle and they just tip their head back. I think he tipped back too far, blacked out, and fell over. I don't think he was aware.
Which no, they have stated, which I mean, I mean, you can find out a lot of stuff from autopsies.
Yeah.
Um, but they said that he was completely unconscious. He was unaware, so he was pretty much blacked out at that point.
Yeah.
So that's good knowing to hear that,
He didn't feel pain.
he
And
didn't
okay,
feel a
so
single thing.
it was an immediate death.
Yeah.
He had, what was it, 25 major injuries, and
Yes.
including like hemorrhaging inside and out.
Yes.
Um, it
Blunt
was
force
just
trauma to the head, um, multiple
he,
broken ribs,
he
bones.
died on impact, basically. Like it was immediate. There was no pain,
Yeah.
and so like honestly, that's the best. The best thing you can hope for, honestly, is that
Right.
he didn't feel pain. That is something I feel like you can
And he
get a little
didn't,
bit of
like,
relief knowing that he didn't feel
yeah.
anything
And
on
it
his
was
death other than his own brain, in my
yeah.
opinion.
And at that
Um,
point, who knows what, if there was anything in there at that point.
yeah. Um, Do you know, I don't think they have because I haven't heard about it, but
Mhm.
do you know if they found who the mystery women are? Because the night before he was seen with two mystery women,
Yes.
and
Which
they found the women.
yes, I'll get to that in like, I'll lead up to that too,
Okay,
because there is a partial toxicology report as well that
right.
came out 2 hours ago. They found the 2 women. They have not released their names because, they're not under investigation, but they are still being questioned by police. I know
As they would.
authorities from the United Kingdom have come over to Argentina as well to help in the investigation because at this point, the ultimate goal is to get him home, to give him a proper burial, to give him the funeral that he deserves. And, as you know, his dad was there just a couple of days ago with his former um, bodyguard, Paul Higgins, who used to take the boys home after every tour. Which that's it's sad, and, like, I kept seeing, like, "Oh, this is his last time bringing his boy home." And,
Yep.
so, yeah, like you said, his he hated being alone in the hotels, and they kept locking him back up, and he didn't wanna be up there. But they have stated that the 2 women, were in fact sex workers, um, and they were seen multiple times for the days after Kate Cassidy had left,
Okay.
um, which I guess she has come out with a statement that, like, that was such a betrayal on their relationship and she feels
Did
betrayed.
she?
This is all alleged. I have not seen a statement from it.
I've been looking. I've been
Yeah.
waiting.
This was
I
this was completely alleged, and I'm like, "Ugh, but you did leave him." So the whole point of this trip was in fact that his visa in the United States was up. He was forced to leave the country. He had to leave. There was no question about it while pending his reapplication.
okay.
So there was no duration of how long it was going to take. It could have taken 30 days. It could have taken 60 days. But they gave him, it should be done in 7 days, but you have to leave the country. You cannot be here while this is happening.
Okay.
And so that was the whole plan. He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go to Argentina because Niall was touring. I'll go see, one of my bandmates, reconnect with them." And I think Kate went not knowing how long she was going to be there. And y-
Maybe underestimated the amount of time.
yes. And I think that's where her downfall was. Here she's thinking, "Oh, we'll be there a week." And it ended up being they were there for 2 weeks. And he
I think it
still
was only supposed to
had
be a couple days. I think she said it was only supposed to be a couple days.
yeah, which it
Because I
did
think
end
her
up
get ready with me said it was supposed to be a couple days, but we were there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Um,
Which they
but
said, like, they were supposed some are saying that they were supposed to be there for 7 days regardless, which, I mean, with travel and stuff, that would make sense, but and that's where I think her downfall was, is she went into it underestimating how long he actually had to be there. And that's where, like, for me, I would have stayed with that person even if it ended up being 30 days, 60 days, whatever. But it also may have been an issue with her passport because she initially told
yeah,
when you're
there are
flying,
so many variables that we really don't know. Like we
don't
can
yeah,
all we can do is speculate at this point until the facts are given. But like
right.
she just lost like the love of her life.
Right.
Like you could tell there was genuine love between the two of them,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
up to his like leading days, you could tell he's just like you could
He
see
was
his face was drained. He's tired. You could tell there's just
mhm.
sadness behind his eyes.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and I don't think that she had anything to do with that. I mean, like relationships
Mm-mm.
are hard regardless. They're gonna have their ups and downs. but I just think that maybe he was struggling more on the inside, and that's what led him to, get the sex workers,
Right.
and things like that. However, man, that's got to be a kick in the fucking face.
Right, like, here you think you have this secure relationship and everything, and then
And
you
that you're
find
so in
out
love, and then meanwhile, your
you
spouse is
is
cheating on you with sex workers. I get that I'm an
paying.
online sex worker, but
Yeah, but
damn.
he paid 2 women to do whatever they did to him.
Whatever it was, like whatever
Yeah.
they do, sometimes he maybe he just wanted to hang out. Maybe they
Right, it
also
could have
I
been
don't
just a simple cuddle session. It could have been full-blown I mean
that
well, I mean,
would honestly be worse. I would
there
be so disappointed in
Right.
my spouse if they got sex workers just to
It's just a
cuddle.
cuddle.
I would much rather them just full on cheat because that's kind of pathetic.
But, like, you could tell he was the days leading up to his death, he was craving that attention from everybody, and nobody other than the few fans that, he had a little bit of interaction with, nobody was really giving him that attention.
No one asked how he was doing rather than just they wanted
Yeah.
photos. It was,
Right.
it was a job. That's part of his
Yeah.
job, right?
'Cause one of
So,
the videos from the fans, it and this is I mean, we've dealt with it with Marianas Trench, and they have addressed it, and I've seen other bands address it, but a fan and I'm not criticizing this fan, I'm not, trying to talk down, whatever, but this specific person went up to him and was like, "Oh my god, you saved my life." Yeah, and yes, music can play a huge role in mental health and, getting out of those spirals. I've done it, you've done it, we've seen it, but like to put that much pressure on a musical artist that doesn't even know who you are as a person.
I mean, it's flattering, but like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And
Um,
and
like, and I used to use music to get over a lot of things. However, as I've
mhm,
gotten older, it music hurts me more. So
yeah.
when I am like super sad, I no longer go listen to music
Mhm.
because it hurts me a lot.
Right.
I try to stay away from it, but
And I think that's
that's
just
it,
how
it does happen a lot. People, even if they're not
mhm,
in the mindset of killing themselves. I don't know. And no,
yeah.
obviously no one. I've been down that road. I've had many attempts myself.
Mhm.
Um,
Me as well.
but
Um,
it's so it is a very hard and touchy subject to talk about, but
right.
I
Oh,
am
but
very open about mental health and my own, my own journey. And that
yeah.
is where I hurt a lot for Liam
Mhm.
is just knowing the struggles that he's been open with. So obviously there's so much
Yeah.
more that we don't know, and you can just see the sadness in his eyes and a lot of the TikToks, the
Mhm.
fucking Snapchats, that because that was his primary platform was Snapchat.
Yeah.
Just seeing like the sadness in his eyes and just hearing that he's talking about struggling with his own shit, that is where my heart hurts for him. And so
Mhm.
as the days have gone on, the very first day, like I said, I was drinking wine. I was just like, ha ha ha.
Right.
And then the last couple days, it's probably took me a good 2 or 3 days, and then I just became hysterical. I
Yeah.
could not stop crying, and every 4 seconds, like, I'm seeing a new TikTok or a new reel of Liam, and it's just like,
Mhm.
oh, it's hitting hard. However, well, not okay. So, something really cute that's been going around that you are also aware of is the pictures of the sky where they
Yeah,
see a lot of the arrows
the arrows.
in the sky. However, it's making me laugh that that was one of his worst tattoos. Now
It's
that
funny
I
yes.
know that he fucking hated that tattoo, that he wanted to get that one covered up, and
And now
everyone's
and
copying him.
everyone's getting
And
at you, and it's
but
like,
it is
I
cute as like to think of that's a little sign because there's multiple in
yeah,
different locations around the world where you see in the sky there's these little
the
arrows, the
in the clouds.
yeah, in the clouds. In a
Mhm.
lot of people, even myself included, I think that's cute, saying that it's signifying that he's okay now, that
Yeah.
he's where he needs to be,
Mhm.
and that's just a sign for everyone around the world. I think he knew that people would, and I'm a very spiritual person, so I do believe that people can show
Absolutely, yeah.
you in the afterlife that they're okay. I personally, like when my mom passed, uh, my sign was, so we had a dog named Lovebug. She was a black little papillon, and
Mhm,
she had like the cute little like ears with like the fluffies.
mhm.
She had colon cancer just a few months before my mom passed, and she had a dream and said was talking to God. I'm not a believer in God. I believe in a higher power, but not
Yeah.
necessarily a name to it. But in her world, it was God. And she said, "It's not fair. Why do you have to take my dog from me?" And he was like, "Well, she's going to be here to welcome you into heaven." And so that's
Oh
what
my
she always
god.
believed. My dog did have to be put down because it was protruding out from her bum, and it was a tumor, very,
Yeah.
very large. It was really bad. Um, and so the day my mom passed, she passed in hospital,
Mhm,
and I went home. I was at, I live separately from my family, but just a few minute walk.
mhm,
It was a fucking rainy, gross, gray day. And
mhm.
as I'm walking from my house to my mom's house, where everyone else is, where all my other family are, I just happened to look behind me and there was this break in the clouds and it was just shining. And all of a sudden, this black dog that looked like Lovebug and this little brown and white dog were
Oh,
running towards me and playing and just, and
oh.
I took a picture on my old Blackberry. I don't know what happened to the photo, but I was like,
Mhm.
that's my mom. I'm
Yep,
like, she
that's
just
your
told
mom
me
and your
that
baby.
she's with Lovebug are together because that was her baby. That was
Yep.
her best friend. And
Mhm,
that was them showing me they're together. And that felt like a huge relief. Like it was just so weird to see this break and this is shining. And then all of a sudden these two dogs are
mhm.
running out from that. And I was like, oh, that's them.
And
So like I'm a big believer in that. So I do
yeah,
believe that that was him. That is a tattoo that was easy to, you know, get the message across that he's okay.
yeah, because
And that someone in this world that cared about him was gonna see that.
it was his first tattoo, I believe. Um, and it
He
was
was
the
drunk or
most
something, and
yeah,
he said
so
it was too big.
yeah, he wanted it, but he didn't believe it was gonna be that large on his arm, and,
And he's just
um,
too nice.
the next day, he had an appearance on live television with the tattoo, and he forgot that that was his singing arm where he holds the mic. So the whole time he was singing, he's like, "Oh my god, I hope my sisters and my mom don't kill me." Like,
That
oh my
is,
god. And one of the other things that I keep seeing is, um, so Louis, I can't remember how long ago, but he had a tragic passing as well of his mom and his sister.
yep,
And it was like within a 6-month period.
yeah,
Um, and one of the sweet things with his individual post, he made a mention that he will look out for Bear. Bear is Liam's son with Cheryl, and that he will make sure to know who his father is. And I think with Louis and Liam, they had such an unbreakable bond that no matter what shit they went through, like they were brothers. They were
yeah,
absolutely brothers. Um and I saw someone under that thread make a comment saying that as much as Louis looking out for Bear, Louis's mom and sister were looking out for Liam.
yeah,
And that's
exactly.
where I lost
I
it.
feel like that's something you can take comfort in knowing too, especially if you are more spiritual. That is
Mhm.
something you can take comfort in knowing is that he's not there alone. That
No.
he's got people. to welcome
Mhm.
him immediately. So
Oh, yeah. Between musicians, um, Michael, Aaron, all the people in the industry that he knew that had passed, and just knowing he has a special family bond as well up there with
yeah.
Louis' mom and sister specifically, because he knew them during the X Factor.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, he's likely got other people welcoming there, but
Mhm.
um I think that's really a really nice thought to know that he's not alone.
Right.
I just this is still so unreal.
Yeah.
Like, I
So
haven't even been a fan in the most recent years, but, like,
it's been a
I know what a
while
lot of
for
people
both of
say
us.
is that a lot of people, it's we all may be grown up now, but, um, it's the child or, like, the younger version of us
Mhm.
that is grieving, and
Mhm.
I fully believe that because and also, One Direction's streams have gone up
Oh my god.
exponentially
I know
since
I'm
the
part of it.
passing.
I'm part of it. I, you can't help but to relive that time of period because, like I said, you and we were 20 when they came
Yeah,
out. It was 2010 when they were on the X Factor. Their first album came out in 2011 or 2012.
something like that, yeah.
So one of the two, but we were 21, 22 by that point, and they
Yeah,
were still in their early teens, most of them not even of legal age yet.
yeah.
The only one that was Louis
Well, legal age in the US
in
because
the US, which is yeah.
Canada in a lot of places it's 19, but there are a few like Alberta that it's 18, and then in the UK it's also legal
Mhm.
age as of like 15 or 16.
Right.
So,
So, like, a legal age of in the US of 18, but none of them were of
yeah,
drinking age in the United States. They were in the UK because I think their drinking age is like 16, 15, 16, something like
yeah,
that. Um, but
which is
yeah,
wild.
right. Like, could you
I
just
don't think
imagine
it should be that. I think it should all be
sitting
21.
sitting down to dinner, having a glass of wine with your mom?
I could never. I mean, I would have like we had a little champagne, it's called Baby Duck, and
Okay.
it's like so weak, but like we would have it we were allowed to have a little glass of
Mhm.
it on like Thanksgiving or Christmas,
Okay.
like a special occasion. But it was only
Right.
like those two holidays, and it's like the cheapest alcohol and it's like super low, and so like it
Mhm.
really did nothing, but we were allowed to have a tiny glass of Baby Duck and we always looked forward to it.
Right.
It was like
Um,
just really funny, but that's I was also really
yeah.
young. I remember having it at like 9 years old.
God.
Maybe that's why I'm an alcoholic. Just love me some wine. Give me some
Love it.
wine.
Um, so before we started this, I did let you know that a preliminary report of his
Oh yeah.
toxicology has been released.
Yes.
Um, so far I've only seen this report from Good Morning America, so I don't know how accurate it is. Obviously, this is preliminary. Um, Allegedly, his body has to stay in Argentina for approximately 20 more days to finish the autopsy.
Oh, I
So
thought I thought his dad was there to go get the body,
that's
or was it
that's
just to identify?
it was to identify and it was to bring him home, but until they finish this investigation and the autopsy, the body cannot be released. So that's disheartening because like they can't even bury him for another like till next month, technically. But in the preliminary reports, it is alleged that he had pink cocaine, which is a recreational drug that typically is a mix of several drugs, including methamphetamine, ketamine, MDMA, and multiple others of any substance. There was also cocaine, benzos, and crack. As well, they found an aluminum pipe in his hotel room.
Oh,
You there?
the fuck?
Hi.
Are we good?
Yeah. You like completely froze. All your head was like this. I'm like, oh, is she listening
But
intensively?
it's going normally for me. Like I can see you moving and talking. Like,
Oh no shit.
yeah, I can see you. It's not doing it for me.
Might be
But
my
it just
internet
did.
again.
It just did like the black little loading screen from on my end, but I can still
Oh, okay.
see you moving on
Okay.
like the below shit. Um, but
Did you
okay,
hear what I said?
yeah,
Okay, good.
like I could hear you, and that's why I'm like, can you not hear me?
No, I couldn't
And
hear
like
you.
you were just ignoring me, so I'm like, oh, that's really weird. But I can see you and I hear you.
Oh my god, that's
Um,
crazy.
But I'm wondering if this like the pink cocaine is or
Mhm.
like the crystal is what and all of these like other things. I wonder if all of that is what is mixed up to be
Yeah,
this crystal
crystal.
because a lot of this does give me like yeah, the hallucinogens and
Mhm.
the aggressiveness because fun fact, I have done cocaine once in my life and I got very aggressive.
Mhm.
I would never have done it again because I took the smallest amount and I became extremely, extremely aggressive.
Mhm.
So
I I have not done any type of those drugs. The most I've done is smoke a little bit of weed. Woo!
I've
I'm a party
I've
girl.
weed obviously,
Yeah.
but I've also done ecstasy, acid, and
Mhm.
cocaine. That was as a
Um
teenager, not as an adult. I was a stupid ass kid, and some kids I remember came to school
Mhm.
and said, "Here, we made this. Smoke this." And so a girl and
Oh
I did.
my god. They
It was
coulda
awful.
they coulda given you flour and you'd smoke it.
Yeah, honestly, I
Um
don't it looked like crystally white stuff, and they were like, "We just made this. You should
mhm.
smoke this." And we're like, "Okay," and it was awful, so we never did again.
But it was but I've had firsthand experience with addicts and knowing when they're coming off the drug and how they act, also when they are on certain drugs. Um, and obviously the more intense the drug is, and when you have that many um different types of drugs mixed into one, I can't even imagine what honestly, I wouldn't
He
be
basically
surprised.
smoked a Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Do you remember what a Jeffrey is?
kind of.
From Get Him to the Greek. With
Yes,
stroking
okay.
the furry wall, he was smoking
Yes,
a Jeffrey and he was stroking the furry wall because
yes.
it's like a joint mixed of all a bunch of things.
Right. But with this, it's just it's harder, and it's like I wouldn't be surprised if there was some fentanyl mixed in there or acid, because it just says "and others," and it's like, okay, what
Yeah,
other drugs is in that pink cocaine?
that's insane. That's the first time I've ever heard of pink cocaine, but
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me that there's a bunch of shit,
Yeah.
mixed together. So, oh, that is insane. There have been a few more uh like not reports, but a few more outlets
Mhm.
reporting on this toxicology report. So, I yeah, I can see why, but I genuinely think at first I did think that this was purposeful. That my speculation was obviously there was probably a fight between him and his girlfriend. She decided
Yes.
to leave Argentina, and that's when he moved to the hotel because he was only there for like 2 or 3 days at that point. When
Mhm.
out of the couple that they had stayed prior, um, that they had gotten into a fight. He probably took it out on himself. Uh,
Mhm.
that he decided to start drinking, doing drugs, that he'd got asked one of the staff members for some form of substance. They got it, and that he was really like up in his head, like, I'm just, and reports of what he had said to, or a fan heard him say, is I'm just a part of a boy band. That's why I'm so fucked up.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe that One Direction made him, but it also broke him. I
All
really
of
do.
them. All of
I
them.
I wouldn't s I would say some of them are handling it better. I just think
Oh, absolutely.
it was too much for him.
Mhm.
I also think it's too much for Zayn, and also reports of, um, now people are really worried about Zayn, and so now he's being, like,
Yeah,
watched 24/7 because they are so afraid that he's gonna go down
do
a similar
something.
path.
Yeah, and I
I
think
legitimately thought out of losing anyone before their time in One Direction, I thought it was gonna be Zayn.
really?
I legitimately thought it was going to be Zayn first because he's been extremely open about stepping back because of his mental health and
Yeah.
the struggles that he's had and the eating disorder. I legitimately thought we would lose Zayn before we'd lose anyone else.
I thought Harry, and
Really?
not by his own hands.
Okay, okay.
Just because of how popular he is, and a lot of people hate him, and you know how there's attempts towards celebrities and everything else.
Yeah, oh, of course.
That's who I thought if it came back, but like you said, it when 1D came out, the boy band era was kinda, like, gone
Yeah, just
because
it fizzling out.
they were trying to recreate what the Backstreet Boys had, what NSYNC had, what
Mhm.
O-Town had, what, New Kids on the Block had, but that hadn't been a thing for a decade.
That's very true.
It
Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's never gonna
ain't
happen.
gonna happen. So, like, they were trying to make that happen and, bring the boy band era, and they were so successful at it because they all were so talented. They all could write their own music with the help of others as well. Um, and they just weren't they were different. Yes, they had the choreography and, did the similar things that NSYNC and Backstreet Boys did, but they also could play a lot of their own instruments.
Yeah, that's where Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were just
Yeah,
singing and dancing and beatboxing.
right. And I like you said, I didn't think this was gonna hit me as well as much as it has, um, because we lost Aaron Carter was it last
Yeah,
year now?
god damn.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's been
So,
too long,
we've
but it
lost Aaron
doesn't feel like
Carter.
that. It doesn't feel like that long, but it
No,
has been.
we lost Chris Truesdale of Dream Street back in 2020.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and there's been a couple others I can't seem to recall at the moment. But, like, those 3 big names I mean, Chris wasn't even that
It's
big of a
almost
name.
2 years for Aaron Carter. November 5th, 2022.
The fuck?
It's
Excuse
going
my
on 2 years.
language.
In a couple weeks, it's
God.
gonna be 2 years.
God damn. And I know how that affected us because I got to personally work with Aaron Carter,
Yeah.
and that was insane. I was unfortunately not lucky enough to see One Direction in concert, nor meet any of the members. I don't know if you ever
I
got to
had
see 'em.
tickets and I had to sell them.
Yeah.
I had to because I just moved to Alberta and there was just so many things surrounding I just couldn't make it, so I ended up selling the tickets and I was very sad. But
Yeah. So,
yeah.
it's and, like, I don't know, it's I like you said, I didn't think it was gonna affect us as stuff, but
Mhm.
seeing it in that perspective with the both of us, we both struggle with mental health. Um, I have seen addicts, and I have lost a lot of people I went to school with who overdosed or committed suicide. And I think that is why it hits us so differently. Yes, he was a celebrity. Yes, we didn't know who he was, but he's our age.
Yeah. And he shouldn't
And
have passed. It's too
no,
early.
it was way too early. And I think it hits us differently because there have been more deaths of people in our generation than any generation to date.
That is crazy to think about.
Yeah, like that is insane. And we're living it in real time, and they're our age. That's the scary part. And I see why they
Flirty
wanna
suck, to
protect
be
me.
honest.
Yeah.
I in a way, it's been great because I'm finally finding myself and getting more comfortable with my body
Mhm.
and, getting a handle on why I am the way I am, aka
Right.
autism. Um, it's been so fucking hard because I feel
Mhm.
like a fucking child, but yet I'm supposed to be this grand master fucking adult, and I don't know shit.
I don't know shit
Like,
either.
I feel pretty fucking stupid, so I feel like I'm going back. I hope my 40s are probably better, but like we're
Mhm.
definitely like 30 flirty and not fucking thriving because
Mm-mm.
I don't know how to thrive right now. It's,
I don't
it's
know how to
hard.
I also don't know how to 30,
I don't I don't know how
apparently.
to flirt either.
No. My
I
my
am not good.
my idea of flirting is just like, "Hey, you want some food?"
Mine is sending a nude. Like no joke. And
Low
I'm
key
like
same.
I just
Low
they
key same.
they're like, "Ooh, dirty talk," and I'm like, "Picture."
Yeah,
I don't
here's
wanna
my
talk.
here's my
I
titty.
suck at dirty talk too, but, like, I just
Ugh.
not a fan of it. Okay, just, like, random side note, this is not going in the episode, but, uh, I got a message on the spicy site last night, and he's
Mhm.
just like, "Hi," and I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" And then he's like, "Better now that I'm talking to you."
Oh
And I'm
god.
like, What do you want?" Like, okay. Like,
What the
how do
fuck
I
you want?
respond to that if you only say or he said better now? And I'm like, what do you want me to say? Like,
Right.
and then he goes, play? Question mark. And I'm like, what do you want? Be more fucking specific.
Do you
So I
want to
ignored the guy. I just like if you're
Oh
gonna
my god.
talk to me, like fucking hurry up. Tell me what you
Yeah,
want. Like,
let's go.
let's not play games. Just tell me what the fuck you want. I don't have patience for this. And I just hate men.
Low key same.
But
Um,
with this, like the majority of my feelings towards it are just mental health because I've been there, done this with my own emotions and
yeah,
my own attempts and things like that. I feel for him because I could tell you could see the amount of pain he was going through in his eyes in the videos and things leading up to his death and a lot of the Snapchats that have been
yeah,
released or screen recorded and then released by
mm,
fans
right.
because his management team obviously went to his account immediately and deleted everything off of it,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
like all of the things. But it was a little too late. People screen record immediately, which
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
understand because I mean, I guess in a way, but because like obviously I've seen the photos
I have
of
yep,
his passing,
yep.
and so obviously I had to have those. Like I have those photos, right?
Mhm.
Um, But I just don't see a point in screen recording every single thing, like, just in case that there's something that's can be put up. But I am not like a
Yeah.
news reporting outlet. Uh, we
No,
like to talk about it, but I'm not gonna be putting up all of his old things
no,
'cause I don't have do do
Oh, there we
do
go.
do
Do, 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 do. Nope, froze again.
do.
Hey! Nah, stop!
I
Hello? What the fuck? This is great. Yeah. You have your thumb in your mouth. It
Mm.
looks like. Hey! You're back! It was like this. I'm like, what
Yes,
the
because
fuck?
I'm picking at my lip. I've got dry skin
Oh,
and obviously I'm stimming, so I pick
okay.
off. I do this a lot, and I pick off the skin.
Okay.
Fuck sakes, this dang internet. I think it's because I have snow.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's brand new snow, so I don't think it's adjusting to the weather very nicely,
Oh,
which
no.
is really weird. Plus, Carrie uses all my internet.
Oh,
She said
jeez.
she was gonna pay me for it, but she's never paid me, and it's been months. But she uses 75% of my data. Yeah,
Change your password.
I would like to, but then I don't want to hear her bitching. So whenever
Well,
she
you
makes me food and she brings over containers, and I'm like, "Oh, hey,
yeah.
here's your container." She's like, "I told you, you don't return containers without bringing food in them." I'm like, "Bitch, you're using my fucking internet."
You're using a lot of my internet.
I like. I'll show you the.
Jesus
Yeah,
fucking Christ.
I'll show you. Actually, I'll just send a screenshot when I open it, so that you can see. But she uses literally. I've got mine on just my phone data right now
Right.
because I
Ah! Oh god.
yeah, you can see that it's Carrie's phone uses, I would say in this it's 65%. And then you'll see like my phone.
Jesus.
Yep,
Yeah,
just I'm sending it to you now.
that's insane.
It's crazy because it's like my switch, which I barely use, and you can see like it's just barely there at the top, and then it's
Right.
my phone.
What
Yeah,
the
nine.
fuck?
Yeah, I told you.
God damn.
And so like, but she's like, you don't bring back containers without putting something in it. My internet's in it. You're using my internet, and you said you
Yeah,
would pay me to use it, and you don't.
right.
Yeah, just it's stupid as shit.
Just do
But
random shit and just, like, shut it off at night.
well, that's the only time that she's not on it. That's the only time I
Oh,
can get on it. That's why
right.
my that's why my game wouldn't do shit.
'Cause she was on it, yeah.
Yeah. I can see when she's online
Jesus.
and because it shows me because I can
Right.
yeah. But I guess back to the topic at
Yeah.
hand, just to close this out. It's obviously very sad. Our hearts are with his friends, his closest friends, family, his son,
Mhm.
those that he loved most, and obviously with all the fans that this is affecting as well, because it is affecting us. And you know, a lot of people feel like they need someone to talk to. I'm always game to talk. So if you want to talk about this death, you
Yeah.
know, you can
We'll
try to reach out and.
we'll do a group chat because like,
Yeah,
I
we can
mean,
all just cry and listen to One Direction
yeah.
music.
The last few days have just been Liam has taken over my For You page on TikTok, and it's just it's beautiful to see the outpouring, but it's also sad because this wasn't supposed to be the way at
No,
all.
of course. Like this was not the reunion all of us were hoping for. We
No.
wanted a tour, not a funeral, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm just that's like half giggling because there's still so much shit to say about this. It is
And
super,
we'll
super
definitely
sad.
do a part 2.
Um, Especially if like things I feel like um actually what we were considering doing everyone is that doing out of all the episodes we've talked about because we've talked about random things like Gypsy Rose, Kay and Tay, Matt and Abby, the there's
Ballerina
so many
Farms.
ballerina
Yeah.
farms. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Girth Master. Actually, let's
Girth
talk about
Match.
this. Like side note, talking about things that are not okay with a fan base, and things
Don't
like
touch their
when
penis.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say where it's like, don't go up to artists and say that you saved my life. Don't grope people. It doesn't matter if they're a sex worker or not.
I
Just don't put your hands on their genitals. Like if
yeah.
you're gonna do like a hug, like their chest, even the stomach's fine. Don't go
A
lower.
above the
Like,
waist, above the
yes,
waist.
that is, don't even like try to put your hand. Yuck.
Mm,
That is disgusting. Be just aware of what you're doing. They're celebrities. They're still people. They don't want to be groped. They like like men don't go putting hands up skirts. That I just think of Taylor Swift
oh,
with
yeah.
that one. Like just be normal. Be a natural human being. Don't be fucking weird. Don't grope people. Don't be. Watch what you say. Like you can say their music means a lot to you. You can say that they mean a lot to you, that,
Mhm.
they've helped you with growing up, their music has touched you. But like, I don't know. I just think
Eh,
just
it's a
there's a
lot.
good way to act with a celebrity or
Mhm.
someone in the public eye. And there are bad things to do and the wrong way to do things.
Oh, absolutely.
And
And
yeah,
you and I have met a
a lot of
substantial
people.
amount of celebrities. Um, and yes, I still, in fact, get nervous around celebrities.
I think that's natural.
Yeah, and it's like I'm just a nobody, and um, but like I've been inappropriately touched by random men. Um,
Jacob
uh,
Hogard.
and
I came.
you were underage.
I
You
was
were
definitely
underage.
underage. The only photo I
Ah!
have though, like I've been touched, but the only thing that I have like is just him licking my face. He full on just like tongue
Oh,
cow licked me right from my chin and like yeah, I got a picture of him like
oh,
yeah.
gross.
Yeah,
Um,
it was disgusting. No idea why he licked me. And I was just like, I was so thrown off because I'm not even like a touchy person.
yeah.
Just like, but I was just like, I got his fucking spit on my face. Gross.
Well, but 14-year-old you was ecstatic, you know?
Oh, definitely. And especially, okay, so just like side note, Headley.
Mhm.
The first time I went to go see Headley, they were actually in a town like near me, which I was in Newfoundland, and that's an island in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting outside because so there was a mall, but one of the biggest hotels was attached to that mall. So I was sitting outside when their bus pulled up. Jacob walks out with a pillow. I start talking to him with his. I was like, "Hey, nice pillow," and that was like the introduction to us going there. Even though my friends, I've always been that girl. It's like people are like, Vanessa, don't say anything weird. Vanessa, shut up, right? And so
Um,
that was my first thing. I'm like, "Hey, nice pillow," and he's like, "Hey, just come chat." So
that
we did, and then Chris, um, drummer, and he kept calling me pretty eyes. So on the way to, like, we're in the concert. Obviously, they had asked if we were going. We said yes. They walked through the crowd because
Mhm.
someone else was playing before that. So I'm in the crowd, and we see that people are moving out of the way, and we see that it's Headley.
Yeah.
Chris happened to stop, and he's like, "Hey, pretty eyes, come here." And I was like,
Oh.
I didn't think he'd remember. And I was like, he's like, "Yeah, you, pretty eyes, come here." Is he coming back with us? So me and my friends, we got to walk through the crowd with their security and go backstage. And that was like, continue.
Audi, enough of that. We're done with that.
But yeah, it's just yeah, obviously like 14, 15-year-old us is like even now like I do get pretty nervous and obviously I can
Oh, yeah.
fangirl depending on who it is. But uh, met a lot of people.
Mhm.
I mean, it's always an exciting thing to meet someone that you look up to or that, you recognize that I
Yeah.
feel like even celebrities do that. They have their list of people that it they get excited for. I don't think
Yeah.
that's very uncommon. We
I heard a meow. Meow.
are we gonna be good?
There we go.
Jesus.
Oh my god, I can hear you, but it froze on you, and it looks like you're picking a booger.
Nope, probably not. You have your mouth. open right now. You were like,
Huh? Yeah? Yeah? Uh.
ah, are we back yet? We-
Uh, 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 uh. No? Yes? No? Yes? No? Hello? Do 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 do. Why the fuck are you being so stupid? Internet, stop snowing. Da 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 da.
Jesus, are we good? Good?
Yes. No. Ah! We were good for like a split second. Shall we? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Do you want to leave and come back real quick, or will that stop the recording? I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know. I don't. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, okay, I'm good. Do 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 do. What the hell? Oh, I'm frozen too. Okay, I'm gonna leave. I put my hands up in the air sometimes, saying, "Hey yo, gotta let go." What the fuck? You were completely frozen. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Hello?
Can you hear me now? Can you?
Yes. Ah! You froze! Damn it! Ugh. What the fuck? Okay, let me leave. You're just a black screen.
All right, why don't you just close out the show? Say that at the end of the day, it's super sad that Liam is gone. Rest in peace. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
So we are having a little technical difficulties. Um, we like Vanessa was saying earlier, um we send out our heartfelt sympathies to Liam's family, his friends, of course, the 1D boys, Harry, Niall, Louis, and Zane. This is still a very tragic passing, and there's going to be more coming out. We'll probably do a part two, as well as talk about other things we've talked about in the past. And we 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 still wish that this did not happen, and it's still very tragic passing. And we very much say rest in peace, Liam. We will very much miss you. And with that, we will see you next time. Adios.